Hi, I'm the Midlands. Thought I should reintroduce myself because you never acknowledged me.
He's the performance poet giving voice to Midlands anger and the alienation of his generation from politics.
We are supposed to be married, but I barely feel engaged. And yet I seem to stick around because you're always telling me that you'll change every 5 years.
Toby Campion's a 24-year-old from Leicester who's promoting his hometown to a national audience.
I try and tackle subjects in not so much the obvious way, and I always bring my personal experience into it, because I think if you're talking about such massive political issues, you need to have quite a key focus that people can kind of hone in on.
Tell them how I only made sheep number 2 in our school nativity, but I was cast as Rama in the Diwali play that year, and I was bloody great.
Toby's a leading voice in the revival of performance poetry and can be seen at venues across the country.
Politics is really important to what I do. Generally, I just write about things that annoy me or frustrate me or that I find funny, and a lot of it ends up being things that are quite political, actually. So it's not necessary that I intend to go out and write about politics, it's just that ends up coming out in my work.
And there's a swipe too at the notion of a Midlands engine room, portraying the region as the middle child, struggling for attention against the southeast and the north.
Robbing the rich and feeding the poor. I've got legends in my forests and kings beneath my car parks. I've got royalty running through my tarmac.
Although he's happy to admit he's a left-wing poet, he's also directed his fire at all politicians for ignoring his generation.
I came away from school not knowing the difference between left wing and right wing, or who the main political parties were, or how the House of Parliament work, or the House of Commons works. And I don't think that was something that was an accident. I think that was very intentional, that people from state schools, comprehensive schools, aren't taught that kind of thing and aren't taught how to engage politically in this country.
Tell them about the day that bus full of hate rolled up on your doorstep. Those angry men, organised into a pack, a league of defence who only seemed to attack, and yet despite the wrath of those furious men, an entire city stood united against them. Tell them, Leicester.
It's an art form looking to entertain and motivate, and make sure the voice of the East Midlands and a younger generation is heard across the country.